In the television studio shows Phil Hartman and Chris Farley sitting in chairs. Hartman: hello, I'm Hill Fartman, and welcome to this year's fourth installment of SNL's Crazy Critics, where one of our in-house critics critiques the last SNL episode. Joining us this week is Conrad Farthington, a former video store clerk who has an encyclopedic knowledge of In Living Color, as well as a working man's knowledge of SNL. Welcome, Conrad. Farley: hello, Mr. Fartman. Let me just say that this was one of the most politically incorrect pieces of TV that I've ever seen. Hartman: that's right. Your trope is that you think everything's politically incorrect. What did you think of the cold open, the Republican presidential debate? Farley: first of all, shining any light on a party of such hate like the Republican Party is unacceptable and shouldn't be allowed on TV under any circumstances. And having a non-Indian play Vivek Ramaswamy was completely uncalled for. Hartman: they don't have any Indians on the cast. Farley: the guy from Harold and Kumar wasn't available for a cameo? And then have Trump come out and get all meta and shit all over everything was insufferable. They shouldn't be celebrating him on TV. He should be behind bars. Hartman: the government's trying their best with all those indictments. So what did you think of Timothy Chalamet's monologue? Farley: it was going fine when Timothy was talking about the strike being over and promoting his Wonka movie, but things got aggressive when Marcello, Punky, and Keenan came out to sing about baby faces. Baby face is a real condition, suffered by real people, and they shouldn't be joking about it on SNL like that. It could be triggering for baby-faced people. Hartman: what did you think of the first sketch after the monologue, Museum of Hip-Hop panel? Farley: this sketch was unspeakably racist. Hip-hop is a sacred form of music and should be a subject left to the likes of In Living Color, not the likes of SNL. Hartman: they had Ego, Punky, and Keenan in the sketch. Farley: but they had Timothy play a white rapper, and there's nothing more racist than white people appropriating hip-hop. Hartman: what about Eminem? Farley: M&Ms are great candy. Hartman: moving on, what did you think of the video, The Woman in Me Auditions, about celebrities auditioning to voice over Britney Spears' new book? Farley: there's nothing more cringe than doing impressions of people. Those people's feelings could be hurt, and that's unacceptable. Hartman: not to get too meta, but our entire show here is based on doing impressions of people. Farley: I never said that this show wasn't cringe, and that we aren't hurting the people we impersonate's feelings. Hartman: well, at least they're all dead. Anyway, what did you think of the next sketch, Jim Call? Farley: SNL will stop at nothing when it comes to making fun of disadvantaged groups. Here it was gym workers who are muscle-bound. Hartman: I hardly think meatheads are a disadvantaged group. Farley: try telling them that and see if they even understand what you're saying. Having a lack of intelligence is a huge disadvantage, and SNL was punching down on this group. For shame. Hartman: okay, punching down on weightlifters. Anyway, what did you think of the video Giant Horse? Farley: I can't believe they treated that poor horse that way, making him a giant and then shrinking him at the end like that. That's a horrible thing to do to a living thing. Hartman: it wasn't a real horse, Conrad. Farley: it still doesn't make it right. Imaginary horses have feelings too. Hartman: of course they do. Anyway, how about Boy Genius's performance of Not Strong Enough? Farley: I think it's aggressive for an all-female band to have the name Boy Genius. It sends the wrong message, especially when we all know that males and their lack of intelligence is the main problem in society. Their performance was great, though. Hartman: spoken like a true man. Anyway, what did you think of Weekend Update? Farley:
Collins making fun of Joe Biden's age was terrible. It was such inappropriate ageism. And calling redheads all witches was blatant gingerism.
Hartman. Gingerism? Farley.
That's right. And I didn't appreciate Michael going after progressive Mayor Eric Adams, nor his knock on the Middle East saying that they don't have female drivers. That sort of Islamophobia is uncalled for in today's society. And Heidi's Crystal, your coworker who's extremely busy doing seemingly nothing, was very funny until the punchline about being Britney Spears' Instagram choreographer. Such a cheap shot at Britney. Leave Britney alone.
Hartman. Okay, and what did you think of the sketch Troy Sivan, Sleep Demon? Farley.
This was a mean-spirited takedown of Troy Sivan, who was part of a disadvantaged group, homosexuals. And I thought...
Joe King enters the stage and sits next to Hartman. Hartman. Our producer, Joe King, has interrupted our segment.
King. I don't know what this Mary Conrad Farthington over here is saying about this sketch, but boy, oh boy, was it exciting to see Sarah Sherman in some red panties. It makes me think about making her ass bleed, if you know what I mean.
As King exits, Hartman says, Good God! That crass producer of ours almost makes me appreciate your takes, Conrad. Anyway, what did you think of the Please Don't Destroy video, Jumper? Farley.
Well, to me, the PDD guys were making light of suicide, which is not okay. As you can guess, the regressiveness of our culture occasionally makes me suicidal. And so seeing this was very triggering. This is not the type of awareness suicide should receive.
Hartman. At least they were trying to stop him. Farley.
Stop him? Is that like stopping someone from being gay? Let people be who they are.
Hartman. Well, I've never heard that sort of take on suicide before. Anyway, after Boy Genius's second performance, what did you think of the sketch Little Orphan Cassidy? Farley.
While I thought Chloe Trost did a great job, the adult orphan issue in this country is no laughing matter, and making light of it was downright sickening.
Hartman. Oh, come on, the adult orphan issue? Farley.
It's prejudice against adults to say only children can be orphans. It's not inclusive to reject adult orphans.
Hartman. Whatever. And finally, what did you think of the final sketch, Calm Sleep Story? Farley.
I thought it was a very funny premise of Timothy playing himself and having off-putting dialogue for a sleep story. But I was so excited to see a cameo by Alec Baldwin. Alec's the best and is a hero of mine.
Hartman. Now, wait a second. You've shit on the entire show. And Alec Baldwin makes a cameo and you can't find anything politically incorrect about him? Farley.
Nope.
Hartman. Nothing. The man's made no mistakes that could be, quote, triggering. Farley.
Oh. Well, he scares the shit out of me, so I'm not saying anything. And Dead from the Earth, we're not live.
It's Saturday Night Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jen Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Danitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, John Gosling, and your host, Kirk Douglas. Everybody, Kirk Douglas. Applause, applause, applause. Shows Douglas on stage who says, Thank you, thank you. I was an actor and filmmaker. After an impoverished childhood, I made my film debut in The Strange Love of Martha Ivers in 1946. I soon developed into a leading box office star throughout the 1950s, known for serious dramas, including westerns and war films. During my career, I appeared in more than 90 films and was known for my explosive acting style. I was named by the American Film Institute as the 17th greatest male star of classic Hollywood cinema. Applause, applause, applause. Douglas. And in 1980, during its 5th season, I hosted Saturday Night Live. And in my monologue, Norm Macdonald comes out on stage. Douglas. Can I help you, sir? Macdonald. Well, geez, Mr. Douglas, it's an honor, sir. But I didn't know you were dead. Douglas. Yep, since 2020. Macdonald. You gotta be kidding me. Douglas. Nope, afraid not. Macdonald. I'm a really big fan, sir. Douglas. Oh, yeah? What are some of my movies that you liked? Macdonald. Well, where to start? I loved Wall Street. Douglas. Wall Street? Macdonald. Yeah, and Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct, Falling Down, Traffic. You've been in some great ones. Douglas. Sir, I think you have me confused with someone. Macdonald. No, you're definitely who I'm thinking of. Michael Douglas. Douglas. See, though, sir, I'm not Michael Douglas. I'm his father, Kirk Douglas. Macdonald. Wait. Why are we having Michael Douglas's dad host? Are we just giving the host job away to people's families now? I thought it was for famous people. Douglas. They forget quickly, don't they, folks? Anyway, we have a great show tonight. John Gosling of the Kinks is here, so get ready to really get me. We'll be right back.